building bridges connecting Indiana and Kentucky, why it brought Washington brass to Southwest Indiana, and the project's impact on business and travel in America. Indianapolis with another big score in the business of sports, the potential payoff for hosting the first ever TED Sports Conference. And the Purdue guitar-making connection to honoring late Colts owner Jim Irsay during the upcoming NFL season. Inside Indiana Business is next.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and LIUNA.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick. 13 years after then Governor Mitch Daniels hopped on his motorcycle to help open the first leg of the I-69 extension. I remember it. I was there to witness it. The long-awaited highway connecting Evansville to Indianapolis is entering its final stage. 2 years ago, then Governor Eric Holcomb broke ground on the I-69 bridge that will connect Evansville to Kentucky. Well, this week, U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy joined state leaders and local leaders as well at the Ohio River crossing site, a critical piece of the project that's been envisioned for decades. It is the last missing link in the I-69 corridor, a project decades in the making that's now within sight of completion. The $1.4 billion Ohio River crossing is the region's largest, most critical infrastructure project, connecting Evansville and Henderson, Kentucky, and beyond. The significance of the project underscored this week during a visit to the construction site by U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
I-69 is not just important for your two states. I think this point was very well made. It's important for America. It's important for moving American products from north to south and south to north. And we have to make sure that we find those critical arteries and we make sure we make those investments. And that's what I'm focused on.
Duffy, Governor Mike Braun, and Senator Todd Young among officials receiving a briefing and helicopter tour of the bridge construction site, all pledging support to get it through the finish line. Communities throughout Indiana and western Kentucky making economic development plans based on its completion.
But think of it this way, Gerry, on a broader scale, think about FedEx in Memphis. Think about the FedEx presence in Indianapolis. FedEx has expressed huge support for this project because they understand the connection between Memphis and Indianapolis. So this just is a huge project for, again, the region, but also for the entire country.
So as for the timeline, Kentucky's 6-mile approach to the bridge, now under construction, is expected to be completed in the fall. So very soon, that 6-mile approach on the Kentucky side is expected to be finished. Indiana's 2-mile approach to the bridge site is expected to be completed next year, with construction on the actual bridge deck to begin in 2027. Traffic on the bridge right now scheduled for 2031. But there's a $466 million grant that the Indiana Department of Transportation hopes to get that could speed that timeline up a bit. There is hope this week's visit could play a role in that process. Stay tuned. Well, when that bridge opens to traffic, the number of cars driving with Indiana specialty license plates could look a lot different. Organizations like the Boys and Girls Clubs and Ivy Tech are just two of the 100 Hoosier groups who get money from the sales of specialty plates. But a new state law is making it tougher to get them, forcing groups to double sales of their plates. Since 2007, Indiana specialty plate sales have raised more than or nearly $200 million for Hoosier organizations. Coming up next, the WWE, NFL, even sports in outer space, all part of the lineup for the first ever TED Sports Conference in Indianapolis. The impact the event could have on the sports industry in Indiana, that's coming up next.
The challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising faster among
need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Our Innovate Indiana series is on the move in October. Join us for Innovate Southern Indiana in New Albany, October 1st. Innovate South Bend Elkhart in South Bend, October 14th. And Innovate South Central Indiana in Bloomington, October 24th. The Innovate series is presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. Each location will feature a powerful afternoon of ideas, innovation, and insight. And what's next for each region. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate.
Buying or selling a home is too important to go it alone. Realtors are on your side when it matters most, as local housing experts with insight that goes deeper than a set of search results. With a strict code of ethics and higher professional standards to protect your interests. And with a commitment to Indiana, standing up for homeowners and taxpayers, supporting our economy, and working for stronger communities.
Indiana Realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you trust, will find your way home.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today, and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LIUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Indy was built for big events.
It is the ecosystem of sports. So many great organizations, so many great sports teams, so much passion for sports lives here.
Well, Indy's latest big score in the business of sports, hosting the inaugural TED Sports Conference, which drew hundreds of leaders in sports, ranging from the WWE to the move to play sports in outer space. Sports industries from all over the globe coming to Indianapolis, and for more on this TED Sports event, the first one, its potential economic impact, joined now by Indiana Sports Corporation President Patrick Talty. As always, Patrick, great to see you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I think a lot of people have heard of TED, the TED Talks, most visibly from that organization. TED Sports is a new venture from the group.
Yes.
This is the first TED Sports they've done. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, this is the first time they've ever had a sports vertical that totally focused on sports. And when we heard that they were thinking about doing a vertical in sports, we said there's no better place than Indianapolis to host the first ever TED Sports.
So you and others went down and actually pitched this and convinced them to do it.
Yeah, we did. We took a trip down to Atlanta and saw TED Next, one of their other products, and met with their president and CEO and their COO, Monique Ruff-Bell, who's here in Indy. And she's been a big champion of the sports, and she was a huge champion of Indianapolis and really was all in when we told them why Indy.
So many aspects to this, so many different, unique speakers, again, from around the globe. Give us kind of a snapshot of what attendees experienced.
You know, what's amazing about TED that people don't realize is that you have the TED speeches that you see online. But that's really only 5 sessions that happen. It's all of the other immersive things that happen around. Yesterday, people were out at the Speedway competing in a pit stop challenge with Arrow McLaren. We had people kicking field goals at Lucas Oil Stadium. They're shooting free throws at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And then they have dine-arounds where there are curated dinners that they get to experience and be with others that are talking about topics that they're interested in.
NCAA President Charlie Baker, I know, gave a talk, so some interesting and relevant content as well.
Yes, I mean, the content has been unbelievable, from Charlie Baker speaking about the future of college sports and challenging people to think about youth sports and how that changes leadership moving forward, to talking about women's sports, to talking about how do we make sure that we protect athletes in the social media sphere and moving forward.
Let's talk about why this is important to Indianapolis from an economic standpoint and otherwise. This is one of the pillars that the Indiana Sports Corporation, its vision for 2050, came up with, is to host big-time, high-profile events like this, discussions, being in the global sports discussion.
That's right. When we unveiled the 2050 vision, one of the things that we said was we really need to have a conference that brings the pillars together and have people, thought leaders, talking about what's the future of sport. Because if you're going to be the global epicenter of sport, there needs to be thinking and thought leaders talking and discussing and figuring out the next version of sports in Indianapolis.
So this exposed some of these really high-profile people. If they hadn't been here before, exposed them to what Indianapolis is about when it comes to sports.
Yes. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me today and said, I've not been in Indianapolis before. This is my first time. It is unbelievable. They talk about Hoosier hospitality. Of course, we've had great weather, which is, we always seem to be able to dial that up. And they experienced a fever game. Some of them came to the Colts game. They've been in Gamebridge Fieldhouse. They've been out to the track. So it's just been incredible.
And quickly, one of those pillars, too, is Indiana becoming the epicenter for women's sports. And we've seen so many aspects of that. WNBA All-Star Game, the new $78 million Fever training facility. A lot of things already happening in that vein.
Yeah, Marvella actually was talked about as a TED Talk here this morning.
Indiana,
Northwest Indiana, unbelievable project focusing on girls in sport. And then, of course, we also had the announcement of the IU Labs focusing on, research in women's health and wellness and recovery. It's just so much is happening. And it's just great how we're just moving that forward, that discussion. And actually, Troy Vincent from the NFL talked about flag football and how that is an access for a sport that was shut down to girls for many years, and now it's going to be an Olympic sport.
TED Sports, another big win for Indianapolis. Patrick Tulte, as always, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, another example of Indy's rich reach into the sports business world, Tim Tebow's new connection with an Indiana high-tech company.
Omaha, we go! Snap. They fake the quarterback draw. He's in trouble. He can run to the left side. Tebow's going to run to the 5, and Denver's got a touchdown. Broncos rally to win. Let's go, man. Let's go.
The former Heisman Trophy winner and NFL quarterback investing in Indiana artificial intelligence. Fishers-based RoboSource securing seed funding from Tebow's Florida-based Tebow Group. We'll hear from Tim Tebow next week on why Indiana is a place to invest. Well, this year's Rally Innovation Conference in Indianapolis taking on a new look with national business media shining a spotlight on the event. Business and thought leaders from around the globe will be gathering in Indy to share ideas on innovation and growth. Day one of this year's Rally event, well, it's a new collaboration between Indianapolis-based Prolific and Elevate Ventures that will bring the bright lights of Fox Business News on the conference.
We have a robust business community in Indianapolis and really throughout the state of Indiana that is highly ranked nationally for best places to start a business. And then you marry up the fact that Fox Business is going to be broadcasting live from the event in Indianapolis, Indiana. I mean, just the message is pretty powerful, and I would just contend that it's completely aligned.
IBJ Media is the local media sponsor for the Prolific Growth Summit at Rally. That's here in Indianapolis. It's coming up September 24. When we come back, a new game plan to keep female athletes like Caitlin Clark healthy and on the court. Details on a new partnership between Indiana University and Pacer Sports and Entertainment. That's when we return.
Been a while. What have you been up to?
Oh,
Oh, I see it's not flossing. I just added some secret weapons to my toolkit.
Huh?
They help me drill down further, digging deeper than I ever could before. Into my business and personal finances with Lake City Bank Digital.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now let's take care of that tooth.
Add sharper tools for your money with Lake City Bank Digital.
You are all set, Brian.
I'm Devin.
Who is Rally for? Rally's for everybody. And that's hard to accept because you see all these big top names and you're like, how do I walk into that room with some of the most famous folks in the world of Molly Blooms and the Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank? Like, do I belong there? Absolutely you belong to Rally. You know, there's no question about it. So get your ticket before it sells out.
Shovels in the dirt for the new $78 million Indiana Fever training facility in downtown Indianapolis. Another step in Indiana's quest to position itself as the epicenter of women's sports. There's also a new health component to the plan. Indiana University getting in on the game by announcing big plans this week to invest in research focused on female athletes. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta here now with more. Kylie.
Well, thank you, Gary. IU is calling the Female Sports Performance and Research Initiative a first-of-its-kind program. Data on male athletes is currently the majority of what researchers have to work with. Well, IU is teaming up with Pacers Sports and Entertainment and the Indiana Sports Corp. The initiative will focus on training, injury prevention, and recovery. Dr. Katie Seek is a former college athlete herself, and she's co-chairing the initiative. She tells us this project is a dream, and multiple schools within IU will share their expertise and build on the growing momentum surrounding women's sports.
And then we also have a lot of movement in women's professional athletics and semi-professional athletic teams here in Indiana that they're all kind of like, how do we provide opportunities to recruit the next athlete and how do we get them to a better place? And without that data, we're like, great, let's bring that data.
The initiative is hoping to partner with industry groups and possibly work on product development. What appears to be a blockbuster for Indiana-based Elanco Animal Health. Elanco says its medicine targeting 6 common pet parasites reached $100 million in sales in just 8 months. It's the company's fastest pet health blockbuster, and there are plans to introduce the medicine in several other countries next year. Elanco's new $200 million corporate campus is set to open October 1st.
This wall represents hope and the gift of life through organ donation and transplantation.
Ascension St. Vincent unveiling a new way to show the impact of organ donation in Indiana. Transplant recipients, donors, and family members can fill the letters Donate Life with different color beads that represent the type of transplant or donation. Ascension St. Vincent in Indianapolis is one of 2 organ transplant hospitals in the state.
So Kylie, back to the IU story and women's sports research. IU is leading this, but they're really leaning in to the business community as well.
That's right. Dr. Seek said they're looking at how to redefine how they fund research even. So they're talking about business partnerships, they're talking about product development, and IU Lab, obviously a major player in this. Yeah. Its new home in Indianapolis. It's like a front door for industry to get in touch with researchers. And of course, that stick of dynamite is the popularity of women's sports right now.
For sure. Yep. Story to follow. Thanks, Kylie.
Time now for our Eye on Education, brought to you by PNC Bank.
Well, Indiana University celebrating record enrollment both on campus and online. For the first time, more than 10,000 students are enrolled in Indiana University online. More than 89,000 students are enrolled at IU campuses across the state. That's up about 3% from last year's record. And growing enrollment in Terre Haute, an emerging story. Indiana State University just welcomed its largest freshman class in 5 years. Nearly half of them are first-generation college students. The freshman to sophomore retention rate is also at a record of nearly 70%. Well, Near Space Education, the nonprofit side of Upland-based Near Space Launch, is hoping to get the next generation interested in studying satellites and science, technology, engineering, and math. Near Space just opened a new makerspace and innovation hub that's nearly 10 times the size of a previous space. Students can attend camps and field trips, interact with machines and 3D printers, and learn computer skills.
It's not really just opening doors for students, it's just creating new doors, new pathways for students that didn't exist. I'm from Grant County, and nothing like this existed when I was in high school or junior high. And we're seeing a lot of girls attend our camps and clubs, so we're really excited about that.
While the makerspace is primarily focused on K-12, there are spaces available for preschool students and university partnerships. Well, Indianapolis' sports scene could be growing. Some city leaders are optimistic Indy could become a hub for rugby. Kuntz Stadium on the near west side targeted to play a major role. Riverside Sports Properties plans to spend millions of dollars to make the stadium into a rugby-first facility for youth, collegiate, and professional contests. The stadium recently hosted a national championship and training camp, and collegiate matches are on this fall's schedule. The company also wants to bring USA Rugby's national offices and training program to Indianapolis. IBJ reporter Mickey Shuey has more on the plans in this week's edition of IBJ. Well, much more ahead for you on this week's show, including what's making headlines around Indiana. And
there's Tiger, Jerry Garcia's guitar. He actually played that his final concert in Chicago at Soldier Field.
how the Colts are honoring their late owner and his passion for music.
Buying or selling a home is too important to go it alone. Realtors are on your side when it matters most, as local housing experts with insight that goes deeper than a set of search results. With a strict code of ethics and higher professional standards to protect your interests. And with a commitment to Indiana, standing up for homeowners and taxpayers, supporting our economy, and working for stronger communities.
Indiana Realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you trust, will find your way home.
Who is Rally for? Rally's for everybody. And that's hard to accept because you see all these big top names and you're like, how do I walk into that room with some of the most famous folks in the world, of Molly Blooms and the Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank? Like, do I belong there? Absolutely you belong to Rally. You know, there's no question about it. So get your ticket before it sells out.
Education doesn't stop when you graduate, or when you land your first job, or when you get your first promotion. Because education, just like your drive to be the best, doesn't stop. We can help you continue to learn, make connections, and sharpen the skills you need to succeed. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
The challenges are real. Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
faster.
businesses need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Here's what's making news around Indiana. Brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors. Indiana's 21,000 realtors. The neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
Well, we begin this week at Purdue Farms in southwest Indiana, where nearly 300 people are losing their jobs. Purdue eliminating the second shift at its turkey production facility in Washington, in Daviess County. The company tells us changes in consumer demand and supply chain among reasons for that decision. To Greensburg now, where the Honda manufacturing plant could be home to a record for the world's longest solar-powered pedestrian walkway. The company recently finished the walkway, which, in addition to being a shelter from inclement weather, will generate energy for the plant. Honda now talking to the Guinness Book of World Records to see if they can claim that title. Well, Taylor Swift, just one of the many images to grace the shimmering glass of the JW Marriott in downtown Indianapolis. The hotel, part of White Lodging, founded 40 years ago by Northwest Indiana entrepreneur Bruce White, whose business journey is now being showcased on film.
This is the story of a man named Bruce.
The documentary, Bruce, Begin with the End in Mind, explores White's leadership style and how he transformed a single hotel in Northwest Indiana into a giant in the hotel and hospitality industry.
There's a consistent theme around values and who Bruce was, and more importantly, who Bruce wasn't. And it goes to show you just that he had this foundation of values that carried through from when he was a one hotel operator to the largest Marriott franchisee in the world for a period of time.
The documentary is available now and is free to watch. We're going to take a deeper dive into the documentary in the coming weeks. Well, Jim Irsay's love for the Indianapolis Colts rivaled his passion for music, specifically guitars. It struck a chord with Colts head coach Shane Steichen and will now be a season-long way to honor the late Colts owner. Colts captain DeForest Buckner, the first player Coach Steichen tapped to carry the Win for Jim guitar before every game this season.
Do it for the boss man.
It's a way of honoring Irsay's love.
Go rock and roll on 3, 1, 2, 3, go!
And passion for music.
Over time, he really was known for collecting guitars. There's over 200, I think we're up to 227 guitars now.
Earlier this year, Colts VP of Special Projects and Historical Affairs, Larry Hall, showed us that multi-million-dollar collection on display in Irsay's office.
Bob Dylan. Famously, Dylan Goes Electric. He's the poet laureate of a generation. Mr. Irsay and I both consider that to be the most historically significant guitar in the collection. That's one of one. It's priceless. You can't get another one. That's the one that was on stage with Bob Dylan when he went electric, plugged in, and half the people cheered and half the people booed.
The Win for Jim guitar was designed at Purdue University's Guitar Lab, where they were playing Beat the Clock to get it done.
The paint was done at a local auto body place, and they got the color spot on. And so normally it takes days or weeks to put an instrument together. I had a day and a half. Things that couldn't possibly go wrong were going wrong. And so I had to draw on all my background to try to get
collection, go to our YouTube page and search for Inside the Jim Irsay Collection. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Inside Indiana Business. We leave this week with the arrival of IU's mascot, Hoosier the Bison. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Gerry Dick. Go out and make it a successful week.
We are bringing the power of this to this with a new IBJ Media app. For the first time ever, you'll be able to get the Indiana Lawyer, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indianapolis Business Journal all in one place wherever you go. All across the state of Indiana, IBJ Media provides the news you need to know, and we're doing it now directly to your phone. To be a part of this, you can find it on your favorite app store. Just search IBJ Media.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today, and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LIUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Been a while. What have you been up to?
Oh,
Oh, I see it's not flossing. I just added some secret weapons to my toolkit.
Huh?
They help me drill down further, digging deeper than I ever could before. Into my business and personal finances with Lake City Bank Digital.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now let's take care of that tooth.
Add sharper tools for your money with Lake City Bank Digital.
You are all set, Brian.
I'm Devin.